Welcome into the Cowboys Report. I'm Tom Downey. I'd say good morning, but it's not a good morning, as the Cowboys are likely and expected to release Amari Cooper, ending his time way before they should end it with the Dallas Cowboys, as our big dumb team is doing big dumb things here once again. We'll get to the Michael Gehlken side of this here too, but first, Adam Schefter. He broke this story this morning, or at least tweeted this morning. Cowboys are likely to release Amari Cooper by the start of the new league year, per sources. Cooper is due $20 million in fully guaranteed base salary, that's what he means by money, on the 5th day of the new league year, March 20th. I hate it here. This is dumb. This is not what smart organizations do. The Cowboys sent a first-round pick out for Amari Cooper. Did not pay him immediately. Let him hit the open market. Allowed the Washington Commanders to drive up his asking price. Paid him $20 million. Had the out the past 2 years. Didn't restructure his deal. And now appear likely to release him instead of finding a trade partner, which I have no doubts you would be able to do. And I want to make this part clear, by the way, off the top here. The Cowboys do not have to do this. This is a choice by Dallas to move on from your number one receiver. You don't have to cut him. It's not like he's a terrible football player. If you want to save money to, rust on other guys, I'm all for that. Restructure them. You can be a hell of a lot more aggressive than what Stephen Jones, and this is a Stephen Jones-driven choice, make no mistake about it. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to have a bunch of bad money in the future. Never mind your other deals that have been far worse than Amari Cooper has been so far in Dallas. This is a choice by the Cowboys, and I hate it. So we're going to spend a lot of time on this. That's the whole purpose of today's video. What's your one-word reaction if/when the Cowboys cut Amari Cooper? I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. If you get the ad break here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there. Let me know one word only your reaction to the Cowboys likely cutting Amari Cooper. My one word is stupid. That's what this is. You cannot pitch a good argument, or at least a strong argument, that by cutting Amari Cooper, it makes this team better. It doesn't. Is the point of this not to win the game, win football games? Dumping Amari does not make you better. It doesn't. It hurts your football team. We remember how bad the Cowboys were at receiver before they traded for Amari Cooper. It helped them make the playoffs because before that deal, you had the washed-up corpse of Terrence Williams, still bad Allen Hurns, a Michael Gallup who had not broken out even remotely yet. Cole Beasley was a good slot receiver, but he was getting double teamed. No, you couldn't get him the ball. It was too difficult. And the aged and useless Jason Witten. You had arguably the worst receiving core in the NFL. Now, make no mistake, your current receiving core is a hell of a lot better than what it is back in that year when they traded for Amari Cooper 2018, whatever it was. But you have botched this entire Cooper situation. The second you traded for him, you should have paid him a new deal. You could have got him for like 15-ish million. You let him hit the open market in free agency, and you let a division rival bid him up, and you got lucky. Amari Cooper said, actually, I want to be with Dak. That's my cue. That's who I want to be with. And now you're like, yeah, we got to cut Cooper because we got to figure out the other receivers. You're prioritizing Michael Gallup and others, which we'll get more in depth to here in a little bit. But I am upset by this because I think it's stupid. I think you're making your team worse, and that's not a good idea. You can restructure these deals and save just as much money. By choosing not to, well, you're making that choice. Now, if you want daily Cowboys videos and weekly live shows all year long, you've come to the right spot here on the Dallas Cowboys Report. It's youtube.com/CowboysTV. Hit that big red button and subscribe. We've got some Amari Cooper trade destinations I did on Thursday's live. And maybe we'll repackage that and still put it out there later today, so stick around for that one. And Cowboys Report also on Rumble, where they let me say the F word a whole lot more. Rumble.com/CowboysTV. Now, look, this whole situation has been dicey for the Cowboys. The reports are Cooper is not expected to return. I will make note that they do save $16 million with a release. They could also simply restructure Amari Cooper. And I want to emphasize that again. The Cowboys, if they wanted to, could save the same amount of money by restructuring or extending Amari Cooper. It is a choice to move on from that level. Now, I'll make note here just verbally that Michael Gehlken says it's still early. No decision is final on that front, which I am inclined to believe that the Cowboys have not finalized it at this point. But there are other moving pieces. I think the Blake Jarwin injury news, which we broke down on yesterday's video, is a big-time red flag for this organization and a major concern as well. It just makes things dicey from that perspective. You're trying to figure out how to move all these moving pieces. The simplest route is to restructure Amari Cooper. Because if you believe that Amari Cooper is a long-term piece for you, you would keep him. The Cowboys apparently, for reasons, don't feel that way. Here's what Gehlken wrote on Cooper last night. There are still too many moving pieces to say exactly how the situation will unfold. One person close to the situation cautioned on Thursday. It could be Gallup who rejoins Lamb in Dallas. It could be Cooper. At this stage, however, the shared opinion from several sources at the NFL Combine is it would be an upset if Cooper returns. Decisions are imminent. Contract talks between the Cowboys and Gallup will factor heavily into the direction the team goes with Cooper. Those discussions are still in the early stages, hence why no final clarity is possible today. I'm going to talk myself into this next part. A trade could still happen, technically speaking. I'm going to talk myself into this was allowed to be put out by the Cowboys to help drum up some trade interest. Maybe a team goes, man, we'd love to get Amari Cooper, but we don't want to have to win a bidding war for him because, frankly, I think whatever deal Cooper gets, if he goes for the most money possible, I don't think he's going to get that much less, if anything less, than the $20 million a year he would cost to trade for. I could see him getting $360 kind of easily on the open market. Here's the problem you run into. A, people don't like Stephen Jones around the league. They don't like trading with him. But teams also know, hey, you have to make a move. You have a finite amount of time to figure out what you're going to do with Amari Cooper. The franchise tag deadline's almost here. You want to tag Schultz and then work on a long-term deal. You want to pay Michael Gehlken before he hits free agency. You have all the urgency. That hurts you when it comes to making a trade. Do I think they should be able to? Yes. Will they? Wouldn't be the first time. Teams, I think, should be able to make a trade are unable to do so. Today's show is helped out by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Cowboys125. 125% deposit bonus when you put down at least $100. Tons of bets you can take, including who will be the first QB drafted. BetUS has correctly ID'd the top two options. That's Kenny Pickett out of Pitt and Malik Willis out of Liberty. Matt Corral plus 1,000. I doubt he's QB, but who knows? Teams are weird. Teams are always weird in the NFL. Desmond Ridder, way down there at plus 3,300. That plus plenty of March Madness bets, of course, on BetUS. It's chatsports.com/bet, promo code Cowboys125. Now back to this trade conversation here. Kind of teased it. Do you think the Cowboys could trade Cooper? Trades are a lot harder to pull off than we normally like to admit, but given that a team could trade Cooper, then just restructure him and take his $20 million base salary, take it to like $5 million, and pay him $10 million this year. That's a very easy thing to do, folks. That simple. And I think it could be possible, and I'd be upset if they got nothing for Amari Cooper. It'd be more just franchise failure as far as I'm concerned. But do you think it could happen? T for they could trade him, or C for they're going to have to cut him. Now, when the Cowboys trade or cut Amari Cooper, they will save $16 million in salary cap space. Not an insignificant amount of money. The problem is, beyond CeeDee Lamb, the only receivers on this roster are Simi Fehoko, TJ Vasher, Robert Foster, and Brandon Smith. Your next four guys, Gallup, Wilson, Turner, and Noah Brown, are all free agents. My suspicion would be that the Cowboys would heavily focus on re-signing Michael Gallup, potentially to a more team-friendly deal. Dak and Gallup have fantastic chemistry. Gallup wants to be in Dallas. Of course, Cooper did too, but he wanted to be paid at his proper figure. Here's what Charles Robinson reports. Yahoo Sports is Charles Robinson. Part of the plan here, I am told from a league source, is buttoning up a long-term deal for Michael Gallup. Cowboys felt it was an either-or and are making Gallup the priority. Now, remember, it doesn't have to be an either-or. The Cowboys are choosing to make it one, which, whatever. I would be at least somewhat concerned that your replacement receiver, as your number 2, truly, with Land now taking over receiver 1 duties, tore his ACL late in the year and might not be ready for week 1. Kind of a red flag as far as I'm concerned. I do think the Cowboys, if they cut Cooper, will keep Michael Gallup, or I will be even in more meltdown mode. What do you guys think, though? Why for yes and for no? Will the Cowboys keep Michael Gallup? Other players to monitor here. Cedric Wilson will also be a free agent. I don't know if the Cowboys will afford him. Maybe he takes a cheaper-ish deal. By the way, I think we should give the QB some credit for helping make Cedric Wilson into what he is. That's a mid-day 3 pick who put up 600 yards in a small role. And I think the Cowboys are going to try to keep Dalton Schultz in light of the Blake Jarwin injury. Maybe you try to franchise tag Schultz. For the record, by the way, if Dalton Schultz plays on the franchise tag, which would be around $11 million, I think that is a failure. I do not want to have that level of 1-year cap hit at tight end, especially for a guy like Schultz, who I like. He's a good football player. He's a reliable starter for you. He's not nearly as bad as a blocker as some of the commenters want to make out. But $11 million for 1 year Schultz? Not interested. If you're going to tag him, pay him. Do a long-term deal for the tight end. And that might all come at the cost of Amari Cooper, which, for the record, again, it's stupid. We know what Cooper can be. We've seen him have great success with Dak Prescott. Dumping your number 1 receiver, it doesn't make you better. And that concerns me in the era that will be heavily led by Stephen Jones, Catboy, moving forward.